In this DVD, I try to introduce to you about Nei Gong. Nei Gong, again, a lot of people wonder what's Nei Gong different from Qi Gong, and what's the Nei Li, what's the Wai Li, what's the Nei Jing, what's the Wai Jing. All this terminology has been confused by many martial artists, especially in the United States. So because of the reason, and I say, well, maybe produce a DVD and try to explain to you. So very often when I talk to the people, especially those people they train internal arts, I ask them what's the difference of internal arts and external arts. They couldn't give me the definite answer. Even they told me, oh, internal arts, try to use your mind to lead the qi. And I ask them how you do it, what's the theory behind. Very often they don't understand. That's why they give me some kinds of, some sort of the explanation is unlogical, unreasonable. So because of the reason like that, so I think it's probably the best way to help people to understand that and try to lead this internal art training into the right path. Because again, this internal side of training from the last 50, 60 years, a lot of this hidden secret has been hidden by the masters. But even today, the new masters, new generations, they don't even know how do you develop the Nei Jing and how the Nei Jing can be developed theoretically, logically. It's important for you to develop continuously. From this kind of internal training, you can develop so many of the skills and include their potential or capability of fighting and the skill that one beyond normal people can approach, can achieve. Okay? But in order to do that continuously, you have to understand the theory behind. You just learn because I can offer you some of the examples. Those examples only the one we are training in the retreat center. But beyond that, there are plenty more of other application of the Nei Gong into other skills. For example, like Kung Fu, Iron Shield training, all those things, and Iron Sand Palm training. All the things without internal is considered external. Then the level you reach will be very shallow. So because reason, we cannot provide you those training, but you understand the theory behind, you'll be able to understand the theory and apply the theory into the training in the future. In order to provide you that the root of continual developments, you have to understand the theory behind. That's the reason the first part and the second part, we talk about theory. Actually, in the second part, slowly we emphasize the Nei Gong theory, and inside start have a basic training. The third part heavily get involved in the training. And the fourth part is actually a lot of examples. Okay, in order for you to understand what's a martial art Nei Gong, you have to understand what is the qi behind and how qi can make your power more powerful. And can you manifest the energy into the actions with a faster speed and with the power? Okay, so because the reason, try to understand what is the qi first. And the qi is considered energy. Any kind of energy in China is considered qi. And the qi can come from the nature, come from outside the sky, can come from the ground, can come from everywhere. The qi is existing so far, as you know, scientists cannot even understand how many types of energy existing in this universe. We only know a very small, narrow range of the energy in our universe. So because of reason, the scientists still continue expanding this one. But to Chinese, all kind of energy we evolve with is considered qi. And then we evolve with this nature energy. We are part of the nature, we are part of this energy. So because of reason, this energy can exchange energy with the nature. So from the energy from the sky, energy from the ground, energy from the moon, energy from the tree, energy from the other humans or animals is all considered the universal qi. So this is universal qi, that's called a wide range of a wide scope of a qi. But when we talk about qi circular in the body, become narrowed down. When the qi circle in the body is considered bioelectricity. So for you, you want to understand more about detail about the Qi discussion, please refer to my DVD, Qigong, Understanding Qigong 1. Here we try to base it on the Qi is bioelectricity, and try to see from there how we can apply this one into Nei Gong. Qi, as we know, the body has two polarities. There's a scientist already confirmed. And to confirm these two polarities, one on the top, one on the bottom, and it's connected by spinal cord. And Qi is stored here, and this one gives you potential difference. When the Qi is bioelectricity, then that means you need to generate potential difference so the Qi can circulate. So that's the question, how do I provide this delta V become important? Scientists in 1996, January 23rd, they talk about we have two polarities. We have two brains, one on the top, one on the bottom. And these two, the top, think. The bottom have a memory. This is a spinal cord. But remember, this concept go back to China long time ago, 2,000 years ago. You already talk about this called upper dantian, this called lower dantian, this called thrusting vessels. Thrusting does mean energy goes through very quickly without stagnation. So that means physically there are two, in the function actually is one. It's important for you to understand the Qi. So this is Qi, we call about Qi is a bioelectricity, for example. Then in this case, how can I get this Qi stronger? The whole idea of trying to get Qi a quantity. If I have more Qi, I have more energy, I can spend it. I can use it for manifestation, I am more powerful. I become more powerful. Okay, so this Qi is important. Without this energy, then nothing can happen. Okay, the question is, once I know the Qi is bioelectricity circulating in the body through the channels, then what is the Qi Gong? So Qi Gong, remember, Gong is mean Kung Fu. I believe a lot of you heard about Kung Fu. I don't know how many of you really understand Chinese meaning of Kung Fu. Gong Fu. Gong is a user force to make it works. That means a lot of hard work, physical work. Fu actually is a time when you need a lot of effort and the time to accomplish anything. It's called Kung Fu. So it's funny, when 1974, when I came to the United States, then there's a song called Kung Fu Fighting, Kung Fu Fighting. To Chinese, it's funny. Because Kung Fu, it doesn't mean fighting at all. But martial arts is Kung Fu, because in order to achieve high level of martial arts skill, you need a lot of time and effort to accomplish it. That's why it's called Kung Fu. But the Kung Fu is not necessarily martial arts. Yeah, you can practice painting, you can practice piano, you can practice, even get your PhD or bachelor degree or whatever. It takes a lot of time and effort to accomplish it. It's called Kung Fu. So you can see, Qi is a Kung Fu of a Qi. That means the study, the practice of a Qi. What it means, they take a lot of time, a lot of effort to reach high levels of understanding and practice. They include the Nei Gong. So Nei Gong is not as simple. You say, people say, I learned it, I know it, I can do it. That's not true. You know it is one thing. You can know it in 2 hours, but you can do it? No, you can't. You have to take time to develop. You develop the feeling, develop the capability. You have to build the body. So we'll talk about this slowly and gradually, lead you to the depths. Okay, so now Qigong is really, think about what is the Qigong then? Then the Qigong we try to see. All idea I want to produce is delta V, called potential difference. Without potential difference, the Qi cannot be circulating. Yeah, it's the same as the water. If the water the same, the both sides of the water is the same height, there's no water flow. But one side is low, the water flow from high to low. This is called potential difference. In electricity, it's the same. So this is called electromotive force. So, for example, the household in America is 110 volts. Without that voltage, electricity does not circulate. So it had to provide this potential difference. Then qi can be circulated. The whole concept of the qi is really talk about this. This one is called build up, called charging. This is called discharging. Now, charging in Chinese called bu. Bu does mean nourishing. This is called xie. Xie does mean releasing. So every time you have a nourishing, you're releasing, the energy circulate. See, that's called potential difference. Without build this potential difference, then there's no circulation. So because the reason, if you can find delta V in the body, then it can enhance the qi circulation. Okay, then we try to see how many things can generate this delta V in the body. Because it's important for you to understand in order to apply this concept into the Nei Gong training. Because it's all related. There's not only one thing. A lot of times you can see there are many things can produce delta V and use them at the same time. Okay, for example, the first one is mind. Mind is so powerful. We already talked about this. It's mind. It's a thinking. It's a mind. Thinking gives you delta V. And this will give you I. So think about, from the spinal cord, the nerves branch out. I move this marker from here to here. How did it happen? That's because I think. When I think, I produce potential difference. The electricity from the spinal cord go to the nerve system and activate my muscle contractions. See, from the mind and the qi, actions. Remember, this concept is so important. That's the entire concept of Nei Gong. Mind, qi, actions. Okay? Mind, qi, and action. Because that's the basic concept of a Bodhidharma's muscle tendon change. Okay, we'll talk about this later. But from here, theoretically, watch that. Ohm's law. You learned this in high school. Delta V equal to IR. See, R is what? R, because we're going to repeat this theory again when later we talk about example of how do you manifest Nei Gong into the power, into the Jing. Because this whole concept. So now you get an idea, and when you think, then when we reach the example, the last parts of this DVD, we can repeat again. Hopefully can refresh your memory. It's a very important part is delta V equal to IR. The whole idea, without the I, there's nothing happen. The I had to be enhanced I, then physical body can be manifested to higher power and healthier, stronger. Okay, in order to do that, I need to let the qi circulate. The qi circulate, R has to drop. What's R? Is resistance. Then remember, the way to reduce the resistance of a body is what? Called relaxation. So that's why the body has to be relaxed. Remember, when we talk about Jing training, you're going to come up with that. You're going to understand what's the different type of Jing. Soft hard Jing, and hard Jing. How do you apply that related to this R? How do you play with it? And not only that, this one relaxed, the qi can circulate, and delta V has been increased. That means concentrate. That means how do you apply the Nei Gong into manifestation of any training? The mind is so powerful. Yeah. Without those mind, the qi cannot be led there, then it cannot condition your body, and it cannot manifest to higher efficiency. Okay? Because the reason you can see, then remember the power P equal to I square R. See, this key is this square. This square is so powerful. Remember, 5 times 2 is 10. 5 square is 25. It's more than half. That's because this square makes it so powerful. So if I have a higher I can have more power. So from there, remember these formulas, because later when we talk about part 4, talk about example, we can discuss about this and help you understand how the mind can manifest this energy into power. The second, exercise. Yeah, when you exercise, then blood circulates. The blood is carrier of the qi. Scientists already confirmed every blood cell is a dipole, is a small battery. That means can carry electricity, can release electricity. But Chinese a long time ago, go back to 2,000 years ago, already talk about that. The blood and qi cannot be separated. Because to keep blood alive, then qi has to be there. When the qi there, the blood carry it, and they can store. Every blood cell have a potential to store the qi to high levels and releasing it. Nowadays, scientists confirm entire body, every cell have the same potential to do that. Okay, now exercise. For example, I want to build my arms exercise. Yeah, I had to lead the qi there, but eventually, most important, lead the blood there, because blood carry the qi. So whenever you exercise, the blood starts circulating and bring the qi there. Remember, qi is electricity, the blood is material. Energy can separate from the blood cell, but blood cell itself is still material. Because the reason it carry it, the energy can be dissipated, the energy can be stored. Okay, because the reason every time you exercise, you pump the blood, and it's going to bring the energy there. So when they bring the energy there, what happens? The energy is there, the blood is there. What does the blood do? The blood cell is a carrier of nutrition, oxygen, everything required for the cell replacement. The blood cell is carrier for all the requirements of the elements for the metabolism to replace the cell, or even condition. For example, I want to condition the muscles. I have to bring the blood cell there, and that's why I condition. We can talk about this later. So exercise is important. From exercise, you can build potential difference, then qi will circulate. Okay, then number 3, the food and the air. Okay, this one I add the herbs. That's why in the martial arts training, Nei Gong training, they use a lot of herbs. Body conditioning, they use the herb to boost the energy. When the energy is strong, yes, they can build muscle. There's no difference with today. The people that do exercise, try to build muscles, they take the protein. When they take the protein, without that, the body cannot develop. But Chinese use the herb instead of protein. But for example, meat is very good resources for that. For the body try to absorb protein from plants, from the beans, it takes time to develop. Yeah. Okay. So the food and air and herb, that's give you energy levels. Number 4, nature. The sun, biggest one, influences us. Cosmic energy, the moons, the earth's magnetic fields. Those are the natural, powerful one, and we are within all the time. For example, body have inner channels. All those channels, 12 channels, every 2 hours they shift from one to next one, one to next one. So that's why in Chinese called 子午流注. 子午流注. I just write it so for the case those people understand Chinese. 子 is midnight, 午 is noontime, 流 is a floor, 注 is a major floor. So that means the body's qi major flow. They switch from one channel to the next channel. So it's so important for you to understand. For example, noontime, from 11 to 1, the heart channel is on the peak. So that means 12 to 1, you strike the sternums, you strike the Qishan 1, strike the Ling Tai, those 3 cavities can cause heart attack, can kill people very fast. See, that's become very important part of called Dian Xue, cavity press, when you strike the people. Okay? So because the reason you have to understand the nature is really influence our body structure. The same thing, small circulation, conception of vessel, governing vessel, all this in the circulation. Every 24 hours, repeat 1 time. See? But when I'm here, I'm in California, so I'm following the suns, the time of the suns, sunrise, sunset. So I'm used to here, the body circle here. If I travel from here to Europe in a short time, you can see I start developing jet lag because the body had to readjust to follow in the sun daytime. Okay. So because the reason the nature is so powerful, the Earth's magnetic field, for example, you face the south, you get the energy. You face the north, you release the energy. The moon, before full moon, it can take the energy before the full moon. All those things. Okay, so you want to understand Qigong again. And the nature, the most important nature for the Qigong practice or Nei Gong practice is early morning. We say, what happened for early morning? Remember, it's important. Huh? Nighttime, the plants, all the plants, they take in oxygen, give rid of carbon dioxide, as humans, because they fight against the nighttime. So nighttime you go to forest, the air is not good, it's not fresh. But remember, sunrise, before sunrise until sunrise, within 20 minutes, then the tree, they change. They change from taking the carbon dioxide, give rid of oxygen. So early morning is very important. The same time our body's energy, nighttime circle on the back, daytime circle in front, it change from yang side to inside. So the same thing, everything happens influenced by the sun. Okay, the early morning before sunrise until sunrise is most important. That's why look at human history. Human history, we all get up early before sunrise. Until only last century, then we go to bed late and get up late. We miss that evolution. We body evolved with those energy. What happened? Because during that time, from that about 20 minutes, 30 minutes period, the air packed with ions. That's why the body, human body or animal bodies, they mix with this natural chemical reactions and the body clean up. It's a clean up process. So the early morning, the best way though, you want to clean the body's energy, is early morning before sunrise and practice Qigong and after sunrise. Because the body get involved in the practice. That's why you can see a lot of the Chinese movies talk about Nei Gong training, they're always in the early morning. Okay, so the nature is so important. Then 5 is called original essence. Original essence. What is really original essence? The Chinese call Jing. How do you define what's the original essence? So because the reason people say original essence is DNA, original essence is what? Because the different people have different energy and different DNA. So somebody immune system stronger, somebody is allergic to something, somebody is not. Because all this consider essence, what you carry from your parents. But question, the sentence they say, original essence stored in the kidneys. Then what is kidneys? The Chinese define kidneys. The kidney on the back here, it's called internal kidney. Kidney, ovaries, and the testicle called external kidneys. When we talk about it, what's the kidneys? It's actually glands. So because reason I believe big part of called original essence is actually hormones. Then what we do, what we say to see, what the hormone do to your body. See, that's what you look at the Western medicine, you see, what's the function of hormones? It called regulate your body's metabolism. What it means. Body metabolism is called chemical reactions. It's biochemical reaction, 24 hours happen in the body. So the old cell being carried out, the new cells have been replaced, have been used to replace the old cell. This is called metabolism. But these biochemical reactions inside hormones get involved. So eventually hormones expedite the biochemical reactions. So that means the hormone is high, your body metabolism is high. And your body can heal, you have an injury, whatever hormones, because hormone there, you can recover from injury much faster. You're stronger. But when hormone is going down, that's when you lose that capabilities. Okay? So the hormone is actually considered as a catalyst So hormone is the catalyst, make biochemical reaction happen. So it becomes very important part of the training. Can I enhance these hormone productions? So inside we're going to talk about breathing. It's very important. Without the right breathing, you cannot have this hormone production heavily, continuously. Okay. Then number 6. Number 6 is talk about artificial technique. That means we create it to enhance the qi circulation. For example, Pai Da. Nei Gong has a Pai Da. Pai Da that means is a armchair training. The master will tie you up and you try to break and then he try to hit you. So in this case, try to create the qi enhancement. We'll talk about that in the last part, Pai Da. Okay, so the Pai Da is an artificial way to create potential difference. Then qi can boost it and you can condition the body, the nerve system, for example. Of course, in the Western, in the medicine, Chinese medicine, acupuncture, acupressure. Yeah, even the cavity strike in the Nei Gong is also artificial, try to interrupt or disrupt to affect the qi circulation of your organs. For example, we talk about qi chuan cavities. If you strike here, can cause heart attack at the noontime. Okay, so because reason once you understand this, you can apply this concept into the Nei Gong training. Then you can see how many elements there. Yeah. After that, once you understand this concept, then everything becomes easy. Now let's try to talk about how big the qigong cover. Because a lot of times people get confused. They say, is jogging qigong? Lift the weight qigong? Yes, it's all qigong. Remember, we talk about qigong exercise is one of the big part of it. That's whenever you move your body, the qi circulate. Whenever you can create a potential difference, and then you can benefit from that. It's called qigong. Thinking is a qigong. Action is a qigong. Yeah, even the food, eating food is qigong. So because reason we try to see the qigong, how do you define qigong? The first one I try to see from this chart. The body considered yang side is the physical side. On the inside is the mind and the elite qi. So this is the inside. Because this I cannot see, this I can see. So because the reason you go like this. See? So from here you can see on this side you have a little bit physical actions, you have a lot of minds. And this side you have a lot of physical action, the mind don't have to be there too much. For example, I can see people they jog. When they jog they can listen to music. The mind don't have to be jogging. Yeah. So those are things to consider. It's this side. It's usually this side called layman qigong, because that's what we do. But when people go to lift the weight, for example, then you can see the mind start getting involved. Without the concentration, they cannot manifest the power stronger. So because reasons that get involved, you can see the weight start going this side. Lift the weight. When you go more and more, go this side. When you go to this side, you can see physically it's very small. A lot of mental. This is a meditation, still meditation. So of course, this side is for physical health, because this side make your physical body stronger, and this side make your mental body. This side, because this is a physical body, physical life, and this side is a spiritual life. Because this one raise up your morale, raise up your spirit. So because once you have these two, yes, your life is great. Okay. Too much of this side can make your body more young. For example, Nei Gong training is very well known in Shaolin Temple. This side is muscle tendon change. This is a brain bone marrow washing. Muscle tendon change, if you emphasize too much of this side, because energy manifested. When the energy continues manifesting, physically you are stronger and stronger and continue to build like a gorilla. But sometimes inside energy, it doesn't matter what, you have to supply this energy to the physical body. So overdeveloped physical body is not good. Yeah. Those people that build too much of physical body, when they get older, from the Shaolin Temple is experienced, they call energy dispersions. Energy dispersion, that means when you get older, then you don't have enough energy to supply the machine you develop. Then that's why the energy disperses. And the body temperature always half a degree higher than normal. And the high blood pressure, you can get stroke. So too much of overdeveloped, this is not good. Too much of this side, also not good. Because this side has mean physical body, you are not maintain your physical condition. So really the good Qigong exercise is between. If you can do it, you can go this way and go this way. That means this side physically you can exercise, you balance with that. This side is muscle tendon change, this is bone marrow washing. You got idea? This is yang and this is yin. You have both yang and yin, body balance. Too much yang is not good. Too much yin, the body's physical body is weak. Okay, so once you understand this scope, you get idea. Then from here you try to see what is the right hand external relaxer, what's the internal relaxer. Okay, we try to see, use this chart. Okay, if you try to use this side, from physical side you develop the energy. This is the energy nourishing inside. This one we call external relaxer. But if you develop from this side, develop energy and the nourishing outside, this is called internal relaxer. It's very simple, right? So that's me, when I move my arms, move my leg, this energy goes inwards. That's the external relaxer. Because I develop the energy outside the center line. Because through the meditation, I develop the energy in the center. This energy becomes so strong, I need it to the physical body for manifestations. That's called internal relaxer. Okay, now we talk about Nei Gong. Which part is Nei Gong talking about? See, this side you consider external, this side consider internal. So Nei Gong is talk about this side. Without this side, you cannot have energy support this side. Without this side, you don't have a physical body to be manifested from this side. So that's why you need both sides. Okay, then once you understand this one, then try to understand what Chinese history about Qigong development. Then we try to see what the Qigong development, how many schools. Of course, there are many different styles. But the total we categorize into 4 major schools. The first one we call medical Qigong. Medical Qigong can trace back to 4,000 years ago. Because of 4,000 years ago, acupuncture gets started. Then Chinese discovered through the pinpoint by the bones, broken bones, or by the stone, they sharpen it. And they push some special cavity, can heal the problem, can heal the body's sickness, can regulate the body's energy. So this become acupuncture. This is 4,000 years. And after that, then Chinese developed, go back to 2,400 years ago, they started develop confined animal sports. Then realize it's through the body structure, body's movement, they can regulate the body's energy circulation. For example, move the arm like this and relax. You can help to stretch the liver. Okay, for example, give you an idea. Liver related to the food you eat. For example, you eat deep fried food, liver on fire. Hot spicy food, liver on fire. Alcohol, liver on fire. Your lack of sleep, liver on fire. Fatigue, liver on fire. And when liver on fire, they lose function. Anger, liver on fire. So because reason, whenever you feel energy stagnant here, then we stretch this way. For example, afternoon, usually afternoon 4 or 5 o'clock, your body becomes fatigued. After the whole day you're standing. And you think, exercise, whatever. When liver on fire, how many of you, when you lie down without thinking, you put your hand above your head? And you find out this place open, you feel comfortable. There's no difference. People, they sit in front of the desk too long, they go stretch this way. So this become the liver Qigong. So liver Qigong become like this. Because from here you can see liver channels open and the liver image can dissipate it. Any stagnation there can lead it out, can be let out. So that's become medical Qigong. Five animal sports, very well known. It's the most well known, and also another well known one created about 1,000 years ago is 8 pieces of brocade. Now we have their productions is in YMA. If you're interested, you can find those DVDs. But medical Qigong is the oldest one. The second oldest one is called Scholar Qigong. Yeah, actually it comes from two main schools, Confucius and the Taoism. Yeah, those two schools, they talk about the mind, regular mind. This is for healing. This for regulating the mind, peaceful mind. Because according to Chinese medicine, they realize the mind triggers all kinds of sickness. Too happy, make a heart attack. Too depressed, it make your kidney, make your liver have problem. Anger, make liver have problem. So because reason, then the scholar realize the way to have a healthy life is to regulate your emotion. So when your emotion can be there harmonized and regulated, then all this sickness can be, a lot of sickness can be reduced. So this becomes scholar by meditation. This is mental meditation. Then the third one is called religious Qigong. Okay, religious Qigong, because remember original Taoism is not a religious. It's not. Yeah, because Taoism created about 2,400 years ago, and the religious Tao is only about 400 years ago. And no, about 2,000 years ago. It's 400 years later. So in the Chinese East Han Dynasty, the religion Tao become. Because what happened in the Han Dynasty at that time is the Indian Buddhism entered China. You look at China, okay? This Taiwan is here, this Himalaya, this India. China has been separate, isolated from outside for a long time. Especially these two countries have been isolated from Himalaya. So that means there are two long history countries. They developed the history for more than 5,000 years. They didn't communicate too much until 2,000 years ago. Chinese Han Dynasty, that's about Jesus Christ time. So at that time, through the Silk Road, because Silk Road is China at that time, they developed Silk Road to Rome, to Italy. So they call Silk Road. From here, Persian, through the Persian and the India, Buddhism entered China. On that time, because China talk about harmony of the universe, love and peace, India talk about same thing, Buddhism talk about same thing. Immediately Chinese adopt this philosophy, and then Buddhism becomes so popular. And Zhang Daoling, this guy, in the East Han Dynasty, only 50 years after Buddhism entered China, he combined the scholar Taoism to Buddhism and become Daojiao, become Tao religion. Yeah. Otherwise, before that, the Tao is not a religion. Okay. Then this one, all their aiming is for what? For enlightenment. They go to extreme side on the other side for enlightenment, right? To reopen the third eyes, so they can reunite their spirit with the nature spirit. So this is a religious Qigong. But you have to understand this theory, or this history. Then you can come up to the last one. We talk about Nei Gong. Nei Gong started, we can talk about this, one section talk about that, is martial Qigong. Martial Qigong, it didn't develop until 5th century, when the Bodhidharma was in China. Remember, Bodhidharma, according to the history, Bodhidharma was the second monk invited to China from India. The first monk, people know him, called Happy Buddha. Happy Buddha, when he was invited to China, about 230 AD, is in my book, the exact year. Okay, at that time, because this Yellow River, this Yangtze River, so the capital is here, Henan is here. So the emperor built the temple here, so when the emperor wants to listen to the Buddhism, he crossed the river and he can listen. So that's why emperor built a temple there called Shegu. Shegu is now called Shaolin Temple originally. for this happy Buddha. In Chinese called Mirror Four. So if you go to Shaolin Temple, you can see when you enter the gate, you can see the happy Buddha there and smile at you because he was the first monk of the Shaolin Temple. And later, the Seku Si changed the name to Shaolin Temple. When Bodhidharma was in China, the emperor didn't like him, so he crossed the river. He died in Shaolin Temple. Before he died, he passed to the muscle tendon change, bone marrow, and brainwashing Qigong to Shaolin Temple, the monks. And since then, the Shaolin Temple get involved. That's why internal art started. Now, before we talk about theory about martial Qigong, that'll be in the part 2. But now I'll try to give an idea about how Chinese internal arts developed from the history. If you try to look at from the history, before Bodhidharma was in China, there's no such thing called internal arts. Only right after Bodhidharma visited China, he passed down muscle tendon change bone marrow washing in Shaolin Temple. Because remember, at that time Shaolin Temple already have a martial art training. Because the questions, Shaolin Temple is one of the richest temple in China. The reason because the emperor, when the emperor went there to worship the Buddha, and then all the rich people went there as well. When the rich people went there, they want a piece of a land in the heaven. So that's why they donate money. There's no difference today. The church, they got donation because they want to go to heaven, a piece of land, or whatever. So because really Shaolin Temple is very rich. When the Shaolin Temple is rich, remember in China there are so many bandits. And the emperor doesn't have not like today, government transportation so convenient. At that time, no. The emperor doesn't have the power to effectively control the whole country. So because of the reason, then the Shaolin Temple have to train martial arts. So that's one, there's martial art monk they call Sen Bing. Sen is monk, Bing is the soldiers. So they start training monk soldiers. So they are monk, but at the same time they train martial arts to protect the properties of the temple. So before Dharma was in Shaolin Temple, it's already been existing. Martial arts already been existing in Shaolin Temple. Then when Bodhidharma went to Shaolin Temple, he passed on muscle tendon change and bone marrow washing. But all those training is the internal side of training. How do you strengthen the body? Because as I know, Bodhidharma is not really a martial artist, he's a Qigong practitioner. He teaches the way from I believe from yoga concept, because at that time yoga already been existing in India for many hundred years. So there's no difference. A lot of muscle tendon change concept and theory is based on the yoga. So once he taught the monk how to use the yoga to improve the body health and try to open the third eyes for bone marrow washing, then the Shaolin monks, they realized the body, they can improve their power significantly. And that's why they try to understand why and the muscle tendon change becomes so popular. But at the same time, bone marrow and the brain washing become hidden secret. Of course, it's harder to understand, harder to practice. Now, when Shaolin monks applied Bodhidharma's concept and training, the main thing comes from muscle tendon change and into the physical martial arts training. They find out the power improves significantly. And from basic muscle tendon change, then also develop. From there develop like a Spa Lohan Gong. Spa Lohan Gong is called 18 Lohan. Lohan is one level of a Buddha. So I don't know how to translate English. But Spa Lohan Gong is also developed based on that concept. And Spa Lohan Gong becomes martial arts side of a Qigong training. In the inside, you can see there's a Spa Lohan Quan in Shaolin Temple. Spa Lohan Quan is very important part of a martial art training. It's high level of a Qigong training. But at the same time, it's good for health, but at the same time, it's good for martial arts. Because martial arts adapted this muscle tendon change into the martial arts training. It becomes Spa Lohan Quan. Okay, then make big difference. Then after that, then Chinese society realized, wow, you can improve the power so much through the muscle tendon change. Then only about 40, 50 years later, there's a two style developed. One called Xiao Jiu Tian. Xiao Jiu Tian called small night heaven. The other one called Hou Tian Fa. Hou Tian Fa is called post heaven technique. These two internal styles completely developed only 30 to 50 years later. And those two styles still existing today, but it's not as popular. All the emphasis is based on the same concept of a Bodhidharma's concept. How do you use your mind to lead the chi and the actions? In the next chapter, next part, we're going to talk about this. So because reason and the Bodhidharma become the origin of internal arts. And since then, Chinese martial arts have internal arts, external arts. And become very important because the whole idea is mind and lead the chi and this action. Remember, action is external. It's a physical manifestation. Mind is internal. So some styles are okay. The action, the power, this is P, this is I, delta V, this mind is V. Okay, the power originates from the mind. So we should develop the mind. The more I can focus my mind, the stronger my mind is, the stronger chi is, the more power it is. So that's why some people say, no, we should start from this side and go that side. That's become internal art. And some people say, no, we need the action, we need technique so we can defend ourselves. That's a typical Shaolin because they need technique immediately to defend the properties. So that's why Shaolin said, no, we train this first and slowly go to internal. So that's become external. So that's why Chinese say internal style is from internal to external. External style from external to internal. It's different approach, reach the same goal. So because the reason you can see is actually talking about the same thing. It's a different approach. From there, then people, you understand this side from here is a Nei Gong. This side is a Wai Gong. Okay. Then people say it's a Qi Gong and Nei Gong. What's the difference? Anything you talk about mind, use your mind to lead the Qi, is considered Nei Gong. Okay. And then Qigong is talk about you train the Qi, can be from physical. So Qigong in general terms of everything. So from here you try to see Qigong in general terms of a practice or study of the Qi. From this one you can see Nei Gong and Wai Gong. Wai Gong usually talk about physical side, Nei Gong talk about internal side. So it's very easy to understand. But questions, when they talk about Nei Gong, a lot of times Chinese martial arts use that. The Qigong society, because inside of a Qigong, inside they talk about internal elixir, external elixir. So they don't use it. They always call Nei Dan and Wai Dan. But when we talk about martial arts, they, because compared with Wai Gong, like physical actions, they call Wai Gong. And then we talk about internal development, the mind to lead the Qi. This one is called Nei Gong. So Nei Gong become more used in the martial society. Yeah. Once you understand that, you don't get confused. Because sometimes people say, oh, Nei Gong is a Qigong. But is Qigong necessarily Nei Gong? No. All right? Now, since Nei Gong is so important, because Nei Gong is a foundation to provide the Qi for physical manifestations. So because reason, then they become a special development of called martial Nei Gong. So martial Nei Gong, they become the whole theory, how do you develop it? So martial Nei Gong, once you understand this basic concept, how do you apply it into all the practice? They become a martial Nei Gong. For example, how do you apply that? How do you lead the Qi to martial grand circulation? How do you manifest in the fingers so you can use for cavity strike? How can you manifest the Qi to the leg so it can jump higher? How you can manifest in the body's guardian Qi so it can take the blow, take the strike without injuring yourself? These are all called martial Nei Gong.